What's up, guys and girls? My name's Christopher Laborde, and I just finished my first quarter at UC Santa Barbara in the Applied Mathematics program. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to succeed in your upper division math courses. If you're interested in the program at Santa Barbara specifically, I'll go into detail on my classes after those 5 tips. So here are 5 tips on how to succeed in your university math classes. Number 1, develop a relationship with your professor. Not a romantic relationship, a platonic relationship, a professor-student relationship. Professors have so many students in their classes, it's very easy to fly under the radar. But if you make yourself seen, if you take initiative and you ask questions and you show up to office hours, the professor will see that you're trying and will likely take it a little easier on you. Now I say this, and I don't know if this is 100% the reason why, but in this past quarter, I wasn't doing too great on the homeworks. I wasn't getting the best scores. And after I went to office hours and just had a normal, regular conversation with my professor, I think he saw that I was a good student, and call it human psychology, my grades on the homework immediately got better after that. So I don't know if that's why, but there was definitely a change after that happened. So, I can't stress it enough. Develop a relationship with your professor. Okay, tip number 2. Go to office hours. At office hours, you can ask questions about the homework. You can talk to your professor about anything else. You can develop that relationship with them. You can ask for advice on internships or career advice. And the professors are there to help you. You're their student. And in my experience, they are happy to give you any advice that they can. Tip number 3. Attend the sections. So at UCSB, we had 2 types of classes. We had our lecture, which was with the professor, and then we had a section, which was usually 1 hour per class, 2 sections a week. That was a review of the material we had covered in lecture, but that was run by a TA. Now, I went to all of the sections this past quarter, and I have to say it was very helpful in reinforcing the ideas and the strategies that we had learned in the regular lecture. So attend section. Take notes. Tip number 4 is read the book chapter in addition to attending the lectures. Now, I'm not exactly a practicer of what I preach for this tip because I did not read all of the chapters. But if I had, I would have gotten an A instead of a B+. So let my pain be your wisdom. Sometimes the professors use the chapter as a map for their own lecture, but they tailor it to their own way. So if you watch the lecture and you learn the lesson as given by the professor, if you read the book, you get a different perspective on the same topic. And in that way, you're looking at it from 2 different angles and can perhaps use a different set of tools to tackle the problem. If you don't understand it from one direction, you can look at it from another direction. Okay, rule number 5. I'm a math major. 5. Finish strong. Don't gas out at the last second. So I'm not going to say I gave up towards the end, but I definitely leaned back towards the end, thinking that I had the class in the bag. The midterm had been pretty easy, and I thought, oh, our final will be of the same caliber. I got a 77 on the final, and if I had spent 3 or 4 more hours studying the material, I would have gotten a grade that would have bumped my B+ up to an A. So kind of regretful, but hopefully any of you guys who are like watching this right now, you can learn from my mistake. So finish strong, sprint through the finish line, don't give up prematurely. Okay, so that's it for the 5 tips on how to succeed in your upper division math classes at a university. They all are common sense, but really a lot of the common sense things are things that work. So those are my 5 recommendations on how to succeed. Now I'll go into my experience specifically at UCSB this last quarter for any of you who are interested specifically in UCSB. Now the quarter went by very quickly. We started, and then before we knew it, it was midterms, and then it was Thanksgiving break, and then it was finals. Like it went by boom, boom, boom. Now I come from the community college environment, which in California they run on the semester systems, which are 16 weeks instead of the 10 weeks that the quarter system runs on. So it's 2/3 of the time, and you go through classes very, very quickly. Now my 2 math classes, which were Math 8, which is a transition to upper division mathematics / introduction to proofwriting class. That one I took with Professor Castella. And my Math 190 class, which was special topics in mathematics and supposed to be a supplement to Math 8, so also a class based around proofs. I took that class with Professor Castiles, there he is. Both of those classes, each of those classes rather, had one homework assignment a week. And each one of those assignments, depending on how well I got it and how easy the material was, took me anywhere from 2 to 8 hours per week per assignment. Yes, 2 to 8 hours per week per assignment. My Math 94 class was a 1-unit class and was more of a survey. We learned about the different resources that we had on campus, like tutoring and the Career Center, things like that. And we had 6 assignments, very small assignments over the quarter, and they were very manageable. Math 94 didn't require a lot of work. My last class, which was PStat 10, that's a statistics class, was the fundamentals of data science in R programming and SQL, which are 2 different coding languages. Now that class, which I took with Professor Don Holmes, had 2 lab worksheets due a week and 1 homework assignment assigned a week. All 3 of those were fairly manageable. It wasn't a lot of work. If you watched the lectures, you could go through the worksheets, which were anywhere from 5 to 10 questions. The homework was very similar, and you could go through them fairly simply. You just write the code, make sure that it does what the problem tells you you have to do, and after you're done writing that, you save the file and submit it on Gaucho Space. So the PStat 10 class was very manageable. It's a 5-unit class, but it's not too hard. I almost wish that we had more assignments, because that would have allowed me to practice the concepts and to practice the coding language more. But if you're interested in learning more, then you can always do projects on your own. Now, I struggled a bit with my math homework during the first couple of weeks of the quarter. But as the quarter progressed, I learned different ways to help facilitate the homework. First, as I said in the tips, going to the professor's or the TA's office hours always allowed me to make progress on the problems. Sometimes they would give me the entire solution. Sometimes they would paint a picture or give me a map to follow in order to get to the solution, which was very helpful. Now, I didn't always have time for office hours, but thankfully a classmate informed me that many of the homework questions that we were assigned were actually taken from different math textbooks. And a quick Google search of the question would return sometimes a solutions manual that would be very helpful in figuring out how to solve a problem that I otherwise would have no idea how to get through. This discovery came very much in handy for finding solutions to problems that I had no way of making headway on. Now, the last resort when not being able to figure out a homework problem was to just Google the question. There are many sites online like Math Stack Exchange, which is a community of math enthusiasts where you can post a question and people will answer it. And also many of the questions that we would get in homework, these kind of canonical mathematical proofs and questions, had already been asked on the site and had already been answered. Now, I want to stress that these ways of solving the problems to the homework, you don't just want to get the answer to put it on the homework so you get credit for it. Or maybe that is what you do, but I don't think that's the ideal way to do it. The ideal way to do it so you can test well is to look at the solutions that you find and to use those as a map to study them so you understand the process of the solution to the homework question. So you're not just copying it and saying, I'm done with it. You're looking at the solution, trying to figure out what are the steps, what is the intuition behind this process. And when you learn that, you can apply it, you can solve the problem, you can then apply it to the other problems that you get in future homeworks or on other math tests. So those were the 3 things that really helped me get my homework done during this last quarter. 1, going to professors or TA's office hours. 2, looking at the solutions manual of the textbook. And 3, Googling the answer on a site like Math Stack Exchange in order to get community input to the answer. So that's most of my advice and a quick debrief on my experience this last quarter at UC Santa Barbara, my first quarter in the mathematics program. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope that you are able to get some sort of value out of it, and maybe it influences your decision to go to Santa Barbara or not. I haven't been there for school yet because it's the middle of the COVID pandemic and we're in quarantine. So I took all of the classes from my room, which, although not as exciting as attending school and being super social and meeting people during this pandemic, I don't know what else is a better thing to do than to pursue a degree. So thank you guys for watching. If you like videos like this, I have some adventure videos too. Feel free to subscribe, check out some of these other videos. Remember to take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your community, and pursue meaningful goals, however you define them. All right, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.